And here we are with yet another Critlytics Man versus Machine. It's the S versus S, going to be previewed by the S. Wait for it, we'll tell you more. Yup, if you guys are wondering what I was talking about, it's the Sunrisers taking on the Super Kings, and we have Sabah to discuss it for us. Sabah, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing very well, Avnish. Yes, and that's a wonderful introduction, by the way, about the team and including me.
Well, I just wanted to give the viewers something different. Let's motor on to the most serious things right now, because Chennai Super Kings and Sunrise Hyderabad lock horns on Wednesday. It comes in a new venue, which is Delhi, of course. These two teams have met each other 14 times in the IPL, and it's 10-4 in the Super Kings' favour. But let's get to the stuff which matters, and I'm going to ask you about a plaguing problem of SRH, and that is their middle order woes. Do you see a spot in for Manish Pandey, given the fact that now Kane Williamson is surely bettered his place in?
Yes, I think Avnish, if SRH has to come back in this IPL, they need to get Manish Pandey in the 11. He has loads of experience, has done quite well for them in the past. And if you look at the current batting lineup of SRH, they seem to be struggling in the middle overs. Virat Singh has played some matches, but he's woefully out of time. They may continue with Kedar Jadhav because he also brings in a lot to the table. He has international experience, plus he has done well in T20 games. So I would like to see that kind of batting order for SRH. So starting off with Kane Williamson at number 3, Manish Pandey at 4 and Kedar Jadhav at 5. I think that will make SRH far more formidable than what we have seen right now.
Yeah, and it goes to show that Bairstow has been, of course, in changing their fortunes in the power play, but that's a conversation in another day. Let's talk about Chennai Super Kings, because, of course, the batsmen that you mentioned will be coming up against two men in particular, Ravindra Jadeja and Imran Tahir. Sabah, they turn back the clock with their performance against RCB. Is this a trend that we will see with CSK, given the fact that they're going to be playing on low and slow surfaces?
CSK actually relishes this kind of surface, Avnish. We have seen that in the past, and the kind of resources they have in their in their team, I think all those players prefer to play on such wickets. Having said that, I do believe they have covered most of the bases. So, be it on a slow track or be it on a surface that the ball is coming onto the bat, they seem to be in a very good position at this stage. And talking about Imran Tahir, that's the kind of environment which CSK generally builds. So even the foreign players, they understand the requirements of the side. They wait patiently in the wings, but always very keen, always part of the team, always trying to contribute as much as possible. And whenever there's an opportunity, they're more than happy to contribute. And we saw that in the last game when Imran Tahir, in tandem with Ravindra Jadeja, bowled such a fabulous spell for CSK and picked up some very important wickets. So that's the kind of CSK franchise is.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, of course, in the review of the CSK RCB game, how Dhoni gets the best of Jadeja and Tahir. So only time will tell how they will fare even further in this tournament. Time for your 1 minute pitch then, Sabah, and it's an interesting one, this one, because of course a new venue in the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi. Historically, we've known how the surface plays. Which team would perhaps love the conditions more?
Kotla, there has been a change in the Kotla track for the past two or three seasons, because they have refurbished the entire pitch area. But I do believe the wicket still favors spinners, and to some extent some medium pacers who can cut the pace of the deliveries. So that's the kind of surface which is preferred by CSK, because if you look at the bowling combination of CSK, they have two swing bowlers. They have Sam Curran, they have Deepak Chahar. In case they want to play Angiri, he's a very good speedster. But otherwise, their spinners also are fabulous, both Jadeja and Imran Tahir. So I think if you look at the combination of both the sides, CSK would love to play at the Kotla.
Yeah, and Delhi, of course, has been kind to Dhoni in the past. They play, I think, a handful of games there, so Chennai will be licking their lips, especially like the men that you mentioned, Jadeja and Tahir. Before we move on to the Critlytics predictions, because I know you've got some good predictions this time around, I'm sure, I want to ask you about what's transpired in the last, say, 12 to 18 hours in the cricketing world, which is, of course, the BCCI CEO Hemang Amin coming up with an email reassuring teams, saying that the IPL bubble is safer. Now, you've been someone associated with the BCCI before. You would know about these SOPs, so to speak. What's the message being sent out by the BCCI apart from the blatant obvious?
I think it was important for BCCI to send a very strong message to all the participants, to all the players, including the IPL teams, that BCCI will take care of all the players and their safety. So the kind of bio bubble which they have prepared, and it is done after a lot of deliberations and a lot of like-minded people plus medical professionals have been involved in setting up a bio bubble like this to make life more secure for all the players who are participating in this season's IPL. It's been quite an arduous task for BCCI as well as the IPL teams. But so far, it has worked quite well in favor of BCCI and plus in favor of cricket fans. So I think that's the kind of message which Hemang wants to convey to all the players, that their security and their safety is a priority for BCCI, and they would ensure that all the players get back home. And he's basically talking about the foreign players, because whatever one has heard, Avnish, foreign players, they felt that because of the restrictions that have been imposed in travel to their respective countries, they may not be able to go back once the IPL gets over. So I think to nullify this kind of a fear, Hemang has indeed sent a very strong message and has written to all the IPL teams and the players. So I think it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And you made some pertinent points about how difficult a decision it is for a player to take with the health and financial repercussions yesterday. So, guys, if you missed that, you should really check out Sabha's verdict on that as well. And, of course, just with how the bubble fatigue has affected players, Sabha, it's something to really ponder. Watch his space on cricket.com for more. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of articles written about it and you guys can catch it up. Right, time to catch this right now, which is the Criclytics Man versus Machine predictions, and we're of course delving deep into CSK SRH. What have you got for batsmen, Sabha? I'll tell you what Criclytics says.
Okay, I would love to go with Faf du Plessis. I think I missed out last time around. He seems to be in a wonderful nick, and it is great to see the way he has adapted to difficult conditions also. So Kotla may have a little bounce and it may favor the spinners, but I think the way Faf du Plessis has encountered such conditions in the past, I really would like to back him.
Okay, Faf du Plessis is also what Criclytics thinks, believe it or not. So that's, of course, a shadow of what you said. Bowlers, it backs Bravo to pick the most wickets. I think you'll disagree with this one.
Yes, Avnish, because I feel in the last game also, I don't think Bravo was able to complete his quota of 4 overs. And the kind of surface one expects at Kotla, in any case, you'll have Jadeja and Imran Tahir bowling their full quota of overs. So it does not leave too much of space for Dwayne Bravo. So I would go with someone like Rashid Khan, who surely will bowl his quota of 4 overs. And is such an impressive bowler. His leg spinning abilities are very difficult to read, and batsmen have found it very difficult over the past several seasons. They have not been able to decipher his deliveries. So maybe I think a good spell from Rashid Khan may be very helpful for Sunrisers as well as for me.
Yeah, I think it will be a handy couple of points if you can pick that up on board with your batsmen and bowlers. All-rounders, is it a blatant obvious here? In Ravindra Jadeja, it's a no-brainer surely, right?
Yes, Avnish. I think he's in a fantastic form. He's grown in confidence. The way he dominated in the last game with his bowling exploits, and before that, with that fabulous last over, plus his fielding is an added bonus for CSK. He's such a handy cricketer to be in the 11. So yes, I think my pick again in the all-rounder section goes to Ravindra Jadeja.
Okay, super, because Criclytics agrees with you here. So you have 2 similar predictions to Criclytics. Johnny Bairstow is what Criclytics thinks in terms of wicketkeeper. We spoke about the power play just a bit and how he's been affecting that particular phase for Hyderabad. You agree with this, I'm sure.
Yes, Johnny Bairstow seems to be continuing with his form which we saw in the India-England home series. I would love to see him extend his run of scores, or extend in the sense that he needs to bat in the middle overs also. He gives such a wonderful start to SRH in the power play, but it does not mean that his role is over once the power play gets done by. So I think it's very important for Johnny Bairstow to be in the middle and add some more valuable runs for his side. I think that will be extremely helpful for SRH's cause.
Yeah, another thing will be helpful is not get his captain run out like he did the last time. We'll clip on to, of course, the match result. You've gone for 2 SRH predictions, 2 CSK predictions. It depends on this. Match result time, please. Sabha, who are you itching for on this one?
It has to be CSK because they're in such a healthy state, and I've mentioned this before that they seem to have covered most of the bases. I don't see any loophole in CSK preparations. They do have the right kind of resources. Last game, Moeen Ali was out due to injury. They brought in Imran Tahir, and he bowled so well. So I think they've got the very good combination going for them at this stage, Avnish. So yes, it has to be CSK.
Super. We like the fact that you're picking yellow over orange in terms of colours, and given the fact that it's 69% of course, a win predictor predicted by Critlytics, it's CSK, of course, siding with the machine. So there you have it, a Critlytics man versus machine elongated version, but we like to have that with Sabah Kareem. Sabah will let you be, but we'll catch you in the next one. Guys, do subscribe to the Cricket.com YouTube channel, and of course, download the Cricket.com app right now. The link is in the description.